Hi, Birdie. Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to talk about your new midterm rentals that you've got coming up. You've been in touch a lot. You have a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm excited to hear about this latest one. I know he had to make a change to the Calendly to switch it from Zoom to StreamYard. So
let's talk about how these computers create I feel like there's so many different apps that I have used before that I still kind of need to have. But then there's this whole world of creative real estate and a whole new slew of apps that I now feel like Apple needs to create an entrepreneur computer just for people like us.
absolutely.
It's automatically installed these programs.
There's
right?
so many things. It's crazy.
I don't need GarageBand. I'm just saying. I mean, I would love it because I used to sing, but I don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Give me some things.
It's true. It's tool overload. I mean, I thought that 10 years ago, except now there's even more. And what's interesting too is that I have Go High Level. It's a white label version. I had it briefly for a short period of time. And I actually did like the white glove thing where they help you get stuff set up. And I've kind of gone back and forth with it since then. I should have probably stuck with how I had it to begin with. But I'm wondering, as we're talking about that, if there's something, I think it integrates with Calendly. I don't think there's anything like it. But what I've found is Go High Level has so much stuff built in that, it has calling, texting, obviously email, funnels, all of that, landing pages, it integrates with Stripe for payment, all these different things.
Right? Like there's all these different layers and it's sort of like for me, and you're way more, I feel like you're a visionary, but you also have high level integrator skills. I could be wrong, but I feel like that is who you are.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's absolutely true.
But I am not at all an integrator at all. The fact that I'm even on these things, I'm getting better at it. But it's like when I do something and it's easy, I'm like, okay, I'm learning. Yeah.
Know thyself, though, get the help you need. You can't do it all no matter what.
Right. But you get these computers, to your point of like Go High Level. And it's not my best use of time to unravel how to use all the things on here. And so when I'm like, oh, I wish I had this thing where I could do invoices, my husband's like, you do. It's called whatever.
Right.
Google Sheets or numbers. And I'm like, nope, I just not meant to do it. And I'm okay with saying that's someone else's job.
Absolutely. It was so great to see David when we were in Boston. I haven't seen him since Squad Up.
Yeah, he was so happy to be there and like get to reconnect with people and meet other people. And it was really good. And I was happy to not have to come home and try to repeat all the important.
I know it's hard after a couple of days like that. Of course, in your case, even longer than it was for me, because as much as I wanted to stay and go to all the other meetups, I realized I was going to be going to Arizona soon. And I'm like, I need a few days home in between. But to come back and to try to like encapsulate, well, how was it? It's like, it's impossible. Like I need time to process it myself.
Right. Right. And I think, Pace brought this up on Sunday. It's like, unless you implement, and which was part of the reason why going into the retreat, he was really, really, wanting us all to like get some homework done because he knew that if, we were going to be working right then and there on the homework steps and doing, collaborative sort of conversations with the people under our table. And I'm glad he had us do that, even though
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And it's also, we all want to do well for ourselves. Yeah. And when you're in a room with that many people and that many things going on, it's really hard to have it land completely in here and in here. Right. So I think then coming home and trying to implement everything is hard. And I don't go back to my notes a lot.
You know, it's interesting. I don't as much as you would think. And one of the things I've always, or not always, but for the last 10 years at least, I've been a digital note taker. I just take notes online on Note and Google Drive, all of that. And I used a physical notebook in Scottsdale because I was trying to follow, what Pace was suggesting. And inevitably, which I knew would happen, I had it for a couple of months. Somewhere along the way, I put it in some pocket, in some backpack, which, however many backpacks, however many different pockets, however many different, laptop bags or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. And there are so many things that I want to refer back to that I haven't been able to put into action yet. And I'm like, it's there somewhere. I will find it.
That happened. That exact story happened to me in Boston. And I have this. I have a Remarkable tablet. And my husband's like, why didn't you bring your Remarkable? And I was like, I don't know. I love pen and paper. That's kind of who I am. But that's just me wanting to be stubborn and stuck in my own. I had this, steno pad, and I filled it, and I had it in Boston, and I'm not joking. I don't even know where it is.
Oh no, that's the one challenge of that, is that if it's gone, it's gone.
Right. And
I will find it. I will find it.
More money. And so I'm a little more, it's like, this would be like leaving an iPad behind.
Right.
So of course I'm going to be really careful with this. A pad of paper, I've got 5 million of them. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I can't believe I did that. I actually don't lose things.
Well, if you think about it, though, like we're all in that room together and everybody has the same notebook that looks exactly the same. And you would have
I stuck mine inside a notebook, and somebody got my notes and probably all sorts of doodles on there. God knows what. Hopefully I didn't put my name on it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Who knows what is in there?
Much. But when I think back to Scottsdale, even, there were so many mind-blowing things that we learned then that, you can't implement it all at once. It's after coming out of 3 days like that, there's too much. It's like it takes some time, and you've got to peel back the layers of the onion. And so, I've thought back to some of the things that I'm like, okay, I need to, revisit that. I did my top level things right off the bat.
Well, here's the good news. They're all recorded.
They are. Yep. Somewhere.
So, well, they are in the Kajabi. Yeah. So if we go in and you just like fast forward to like, oh, I remember this particular portion of the retreat. I really took away 3 or 4, and you can like fast forward. That is we're kind of saved there.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. And I have been thinking about that, and I have not had a spare moment to go do that. So good news is I've found other amazing, cool stuff. The one thing that more than anything that I couldn't remember the name of it, maybe you do, was whatever the tool was where you can like learn about someone, like, and it pulls in stuff from all of their social, like kind of the types of things they react to, that sort of thing. It was like a 1-word name of the tool. And it's a publicly available tool.
Oh, is it an app?
Yep.
Okay. I do remember. No, I do remember. This is when we were going over the not the emails,
but around that time.
It was around.
Well, in any case, I won't sidetrack us with that. We've got so many cool things to talk about.
I know.
Okay, tell me about this new condo. I mean, you've already got this Savannah thing going.
I have a Savannah duplex, which I was just down there today. I just literally pulled in from that. And they're doing work on it. So we've got, once I get that up and going, I would say by second week of December, that will be ready.
Oh, yay.
I know it's going, or I would just say mid-December. So I'll get the furniture in there or whatever. So I got to get pictures taken because I can't use the pictures. The way I bought it, it's going to look completely different. And I don't want to, it looks so much better.
Wow. You're doing a great job. I feel like you just went under contract on that. If you're going to have it ready that soon, that's amazing.
Yes, it's not a ton of work. It's kind of like I knew the minute I got it exactly what I wanted to do. So I just purchased everything, got the contractor. He's awesome. So that's happening. And then I have 2 properties. The one that we're just went into contract on is downtown Charleston. And that is, it was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath
Mm-hmm.
in this beautiful historic 1863. It's so cool.
Wow.
It's condos,
Mm-hmm.
but it's in like, it looks like it used to be, I'm sure, a single family home.
Ah.
So it's this old looking, Charleston
Mm-hmm.
single. So you go in the front door, which is key coded.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gated parking, so you can go back into the, but you go in the key coded, and then you go up 2 flights of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
My unit is upstairs on the top floor.
Oh, nice.
Which is really nice. But it's the person that I'm buying it from tore out the wall that separated the living room and the bedroom. It's not big. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put in this really killer pre-made. They're made in Italy. It's a wall bed, sort of like a Murphy bed.
Oh.
It's not. It's like when people say Murphy bed, you're like, oh, I would never want to sleep on that. These are really nice.
Nice.
So it's a big wall bed that has a walnut desk.
Ooh.
It's a queen size. So
oh my gosh.
And then when you pull the queen size bed down, the bed, instead of coming out into the room, it comes out lengthwise. So if this is the wall, the bed unfolds and goes this way instead of like this.
I'm so having a hard time picturing it, but it sounds amazing.
You would lay on the bed with your head here and your feet here, right? Like that.
Right.
This bed, it folds out like this.
Oh.
That's here or here. You can either.
Got it. Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Into the room so much, and then when it opens, I have a TV. This gorgeous, really tall ceilings, exposed beams, all everywhere.
I love it.
So yummy.
Oh my gosh.
And and we're buying it sub 2.
That is so cool.
It's freaking awesome.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. Wow.
Awesome. Like my husband's like, can't we just have this be our office?
Yeah.
We need to make money on it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You could film some really cool content there before
we shot some last night, and I'm going to go tomorrow with my painter, and that doesn't need that much work. I am going to redo the bathroom a little bit. Not much. It doesn't really need it, but it's got this very Euro looking shower. It's like round. It reminds me of those bank when you used to go the drive through the bank and you put your money in and you stick it. It's that shape.
Oh my gosh.
And the door shuts like this. I'm like, this is like a cylinder at the bank.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like it.
That is going to be so stunning visually. I'm so excited.
Got that set up. And so the wall bed will look like an office. And all I have to do is move the chair and then pull it down.
That is so cool.
Sofa with a chair, like all of the stuff. I already have the furniture. I have so much furniture.
Thank goodness you're going to have movers taking it up to that top floor.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a beast.
Horrible. And the staircase is not super wide, so we can have to be careful. But anyway, so
really do be careful. I had a massive armoire desk once that, like, literally, you always think the movers are going to figure it out, but I hope that you can get it in there. Knock on wood.
I have to take a video and send it to them. But in any event, the kitchen is a separate kitchen, full kitchen. Really cute. We'll put a little cafe table in there. So my goal is, it is literally, Reagan. Have you ever been here?
Oh yeah. I have a cousin that lives there.
Okay. That's right. So it's literally right downtown.
Oh my gosh.
A block from the grocery store, the only grocery store on East Bay. 2 blocks from King Street, like in the area where all the restaurants are. Fig on the corner of Meeting and Hazel, that's the street.
Oh my gosh.
It is like,
and it has parking. That's huge, because places like that. Oh my gosh.
Amazing. And that particular street, because Charleston,
Mm-hmm.
you have to really know which streets flood.
Mm,
The street does not flood. Can
thank
you
goodness.
believe it? I'm not joking. Like, I'm in heaven.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a very good. My goal is to get like 4,000 a month for it,
Mm-hmm.
which I know sounds like a lot,
Not
but
for what you're describing.
it's stunning. So my thought, my head has been, because this was just just came to us 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in my brain, I'm like, how do I get it into MUSC, which is the hospital here?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do, I guess I could do furnished finders, but to me, that seems lower entry.
I'll tell you about that. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And MUSC is a great idea. They actually used to be one of my clients. I have a funny story, actually. I was there visiting them right after my older daughter was born. And it was my first trip after I came back from maternity leave.
Yeah.
Thank God I brought our au pair with me, because my flight on the way back was canceled. And, Charleston's a small airport. We couldn't get out that same day.
Yeah.
I was nursing, and I'm like, thank God I've got my daughter with me, because I ended up stuck there overnight. If she had not been with me, that it was challenging enough getting through a 5-hour meeting.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So in any case, I think that is one really good opportunity for you, but I would definitely suggest Furnished Finder, though, even though you might not think so, and I'll show you why. So bear with me just a second here. And I have other thoughts too.
Yeah.
But this was one of the big things I wanted to share with you. 1 second. I'm just switching to a different layout here so I can share my screen. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So here you can see Furnished Finder, right? Can you see my screen now?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Look at this. So even though, a lot of the folks coming through are not going to be the right candidates for you,
Mm-hmm.
I use this as a tool once I have a property in that area to see what is coming through, because you might want to buy other units close by. And so look at all these leads that I've been getting. And
is that for Charleston?
No. This is for a different geography. But once you're set up in there, then you start to get all of these requests, and you can dig in and you can see what's their price range, all these sorts of things.
Right.
Sorry. Like you can see this one's low, and that's fine. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. And so it gives you a real world opportunity to see what's coming through that particular platform in any case. Now, definitely other things. Let me go ahead and stop sharing.
Here was the one thing I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was even going to reach out to Avishkar and ask him if he has any experience with this. And that's for physicians, because this particular unit is so exquisite. It's walking distance to everything. You don't have to have a car. You literally do not have to have a car if you live there. So I'm thinking like physicians that come in from other countries, or even med students that are at their like residency kind of thing, doing that. And then there's College of Charleston also, which is like thinking guest professors, guest speakers. I don't know what their budget typically is, but it's, again, if you're someone that's traveling to Charleston and you don't have a car, you might say, I don't need a car. I can walk everywhere. I can spend, $3,800 a month or whatever.
Right. Well, I think you're definitely on the right track. I mean, I think, traveling medical professionals or, relocating executives are probably the ones that are most likely. But given the size of the unit and the price point, that kind of combination, and, what you'll find, and I didn't actually have a chance to do this, but I've done it in other geographies, is as you go on MUSC's website, there probably is a page, and they talk about interns and, housing for relocating physicians. But, some other places that you can go, there are Facebook groups locally. I find that those tend to be lower dollar, but they do exist, and, maybe are a better fit for other units that you might get in the future. But once you get on there, you kind of start to see all the requests coming through, just, all that kind of level of detail. But I also would not overlook Zillow. Zillow is a great place.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that that would be more for someone who's like, my assistant handles all my bookings, I don't go through a placement agency, I need her to look, and they probably go on Zillow, right?
Zillow is a big one, because what's great about it is it's just one of those places that people naturally look, or if they Google it, then it's going to come up high in the search results. But Google is specifically set up with some filters where you can say short term, they consider it there to be short term rental, where it's like month to month, or you can,
Google or Zillow?
Zillow.
Oh, Zillow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I tend to get a good bit of traffic from Zillow, and you can also, it's like $30 and you can boost it so that you go higher up in results there. I would 100% do that. When you do that, it's $30 and it lasts like 90 days. And, the other thing is, like, once you get in with the hospital and people know that the property's there and kind of the demographic that it serves, you'll find that, word of mouth gets to be really big for that kind of situation as well. So you kind of shift a little bit into more of like putting on the marketing hat and thinking about who will fit this specific scenario, who would stay here, why would they be coming, where would they be visiting, all of those sorts of things. And you're right. I mean, the fact of not having to have a car actually is highly valuable, depending on the specifics. Now, where it's located.
I was also thinking, like, we do have a children's hospital here. I don't think that it's like renowned, but let's say you're in Kiowa and you're, I hate to even talk about this. And, like, our journeys have been hard, but if you were in somewhere close enough where you're like, we have to be in Charleston because our kid is undergoing all of this stuff. Where can we stay? We don't want to stay in a hotel.
Right.
But this is kind of a perfect, mom and because it's really only going to be one. And I was going to ask you this. So, like, the wall bed is there. It's got queen, and the mattress is delicious. The mattress is like, feels like you're on a normal bed. I was thinking of doing also, I don't want to do a sleeper sofa. I hate the way they are. But what would you do? Would you just say opportunity to bring a cot or opportunity to bring another twin bed? There's room, but I don't want to dress it that way.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of like not old school sleeper sofas, but these newer ones that are more similar to a futon.
Yeah, that's what I had on Cedar View.
There are some, that are actually quite comfortable. And you can imagine that they're probably not going to be used most of the time. But I think, and we did that with the rental that's with you now on Cedar View, that like moving some things around. I mean, the fact that you got a fence, most people would not have done that. And by the time we had our second conversation about it, you were like, oh, they already installed it. That was amazing. But, I think I always think in terms of, I'm not going to let a twin bed keep me from getting the right rental. And so, if you can find the right sleeper sofa that's not the kind that pulls out the long way, but
it's like a futon,
more like a futon. It's actually comfortable, and like physically go to a furniture store, make sure you've got the right thing, then that will make it multifunctional for different uses. Now, with where this is located, you can rent short term if you need to, correct?
No, it's not. I think they told me I was not allowed to do 30-day. It has to be 30 days.
Okay, got it.
Days or more. But I feel like if it's 21 days or if it's 2 weeks, no one's going to, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm not posting it on Airbnb as a short-term rental and I'm marketing it as a short-term rental, then you're a moron. But if, if you're just like, this is a corporate placement, and my thing is like, we're buying it and the LLC is going to have I'm going to do a master lease under our like a property management LLC.
Okay.
Just in case, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Just because I want, David and I were trying to figure out how to structure that, because it's going to be a rental. If
Mhm.
I just show because there's an HOA.
Mhm.
So if I show the HOA, like we're leasing it to this company, they do corporate placement 30 days or more.
Mhm.
Um, or does that mess it up? Because like if you got somebody, that would mess it up, right?
Well, you have to read the condo docs. They're all different, and you have not.
I have it. No, I have.
Okay.
I have.
So read through it, because that is often the kicker, and it can be more challenging than even the local regulations in many cases. There was a property that we were planning to arbitrage that was an HOA. And I mean, people will tell you that HOAs are one of the biggest deal killers when it comes to this sort of thing. So just to be
No, it
careful.
does say residential 30 days or more rental.
Okay. So if 30 days or more is allowed,
Yes,
then
it says primary or sublet.
okay. Okay. Then you should be all right. Because I've seen others that, like, there are a lot that are kind of fuzzy on the language, especially if the HOA, like, obviously this is a very old building. Who knows when they condoed it? But, until the last like 10 years or so, this wasn't on anyone's radar. So a lot of older HOAs don't even really fully address this issue.
I think it's been around a long time. So
Yeah.
before we close, I mean, I've got till Wednesday at 5 p.m. to do due diligence. So I'm going to have a conversation with the agent about exactly, just to make sure. I'm going to say, like, we do visiting doctors and corporate placement, and it's 30, some of them are like 35 days. Is that going to be
Right.
it?
Yeah, I think it's better to ask that.
It's not like people are
question.
moving in and out,
Right.
furniture. It's just, so because I don't want it, I want to play within the rules.
Yeah. And you don't want to find out the hard way when it's too late.
Yeah. And I do know that it does look like in their paperwork, and it's not long. Like their CCNR is not super, like, it's not a phone book. It's pretty straightforward. And it does say something like there's like a small fine or whatever. I don't even know what it is. It doesn't even say in there. Like, I think it's pretty old.
Got it.
But anyway, so there's that. And then it's possible that we're getting another property in Savannah under contract.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
What's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, completely redone. They illegally rent it on Airbnb.
Oh.
Which I don't want to do, but they make like $3,500 a month on it. And I would just rather do midterm 38 or do something like that. So, but then I'm like, okay, am I going too crazy with the midterm rental situation? Like, do I have too many of that asset? But then I was talking to Tanisha Spencer, and she's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger issue is the area. And I just, because I haven't really been keeping tabs on Savannah and like what the drivers are. I mean, there are some areas where I actually highly recommend that people cluster properties for a variety of reasons. But it's just the biggest question is there that much traffic coming through Savannah? And I don't know that market well enough to say definitively, yes, there is. But I would imagine, you start looking at the economic development drivers, like, what are the companies that people are relocating?
I mean, Savannah and Charleston are both continually growing. The lady who's represented me as an agent, there's 2 women, and one of them manages another woman's couple of properties. She lives in Paris. She has places in Savannah. She just does corporate rental in this lady's places. And she goes, they haven't been empty for 2 years.
Wow. Yep. Well, and that's it. It's supply and demand too. So even if there is not as much demand as there might be in other locations, if you're one of only 2 or 3 available, then that sets you up quite nicely. I have one property that works that way, that, in fact, I have tenants that come in there and, it's a duplex, and, they're tenants that are in a pretty pristine area, and they tend to, I get a lot of folks that are doing renovations on high dollar homes, and they would really prefer not to be in a duplex, to be in a single family, and maybe not have some of those limitations, but there's just not much in that area.
Right.
And so they,
I like that about this unit in Charleston, because it's downtown Charleston's funny. Like, you have young professionals who are having, young kids, but it's an interesting thing. Like, the people who live south of Broad or live down there in the $5 to $10 million houses are older. They're like my, I don't know how old you are, but like, 40s to
52.
52. So like 40s to like 45 to like 65. So a lot of them are like getting to be empty nesters. It's like their kids are in college and they're just like living their best life. They're downtown, they eat out, they go to shows, they do like all these lovely things. And I like this unit for that market too, in regards to like, well, we're getting all of our floors ripped up. Or we had a storm and all of our windows are getting replaced and we need somewhere to stay for a couple of months. Great. Stay at my place.
Yeah, sadly, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are seeking refuge from one disaster or another, that in your geography, that would be the case. So, I mean, it sounds like that, there's plenty to draw on there. And, of course, it's always good, as you well know, just to look at it with multiple exit strategies, so that if things don't go exactly the way you plan, then you have a plan B that works, maybe not quite as well, but at least, isn't a bad situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, you'll make it beautiful and it'll be highly desirable.
Seriously, it's so not like, I'm going to put, we have an extra Nespresso maker, like all of this stuff. We have these two drawer refrigerator things.
Oh yeah.
And the fridge is it's a super skinny space, and it's like, doesn't go up tall enough. The one they have in there, being like, perfect. We're going to put the drawer refrigerators in.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like it's just one of those places that I just knew instantly. I was like, this is also our entry on it is like, I don't even know what it is. 8%.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. You are finding some great deals. Well, I
feel like I'm just open to them. Anyway. Yeah.
It seems like, you've kind of got the foundation there. And then the other thing is, aside from the stuff we talked about, the Zillow, I know the Furnish Finder doesn't seem like it's for that exact demographic, but I highly recommend it, just to have one representative kind of pin in the map so you can see what's coming through. It's $149 for a year, and you'll get a lot of great data for that amount of money. And then, then to do the other things. And then, of course, we can list it for you with the others that we're preferred with, that it might be hard for you to get in with directly. And so by doing all of those things, then you will have, really laid a great foundation for keeping those properties full, largely on autopilot. Yeah.
No, I definitely want to put them with you. And I know that you've got a broad blanket. Right. And so, and we just have a lot of, Charleston is not slowing down. And same with, so and Savannah has a very low vacancy rate.
Interesting.
So it's interesting because it's not like, there are the crappy places, and then there are, which I would call like more student housing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We have the dorms, and then and they don't have enough dorm rooms. And so then these, there's like the student housing, like landlords in town that are just like, no, they're going to trash it anyway. I'm not going to fix it up. And so they're kind of gnarly. And then there's the market that I would be hitting, which is the, and not that I'm opposed to doing short-term rental. I can get on the list for both of my properties for the short-term rental certificate, and I will do that. But I think I'm very confident that we can at least rent them out. and make some
Well,
money.
and it's nice to have the ability to rent out short term just to fill gaps. And so, I mean, I have properties where it is a 30-day minimum, no holds barred. And, and they do great, actually. In fact, when I was talking about clustering properties,
Yeah, I
I've
was
done
gonna ask
that.
you, do you do that? You do.
Absolutely. And it just works really well because then if have a particular stay that for one reason or another, you don't have the property someone inquired about, you're like, yeah, but I got these three others or, that are
Right.
within 10 minutes or whatever the case may be, because that's what happens so often is that you've got this one great property and you realize like, I'm still having demand. So you get
Mhm.
another and then you just keep going and you get another. And it's like, wow, if you're consistently staying
Mhm.
full, 3-4 months at a time, it's like, it seems like there's room for more. So just
Yeah, I
keep
agree.
going.
And the two properties in Savannah are dog friendly. And
Hmm.
the one in Charleston would be a small dog. I mean, I wouldn't want to have a big dog in there just because it would be noisy for the neighbors, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
But like up to 40 pounds or something.